welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin Hippo. Today is Tuesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Today I'm going to help you guys set up a routine that you can start implementing now in the next week before we start 2020. You can get it ready, you can write it down, you can start implementing it, you can start working on it, and then when the new year begins, you will have a good routine in place for 2020 to help you manage your time better, to help you be more productive, and to help you be more successful. In order for you to get everything done in a day that you need to get done, in order for you to be as productive as possible, in order for you to not waste time, to not do things that are frivolous, to be successful, you have to write these down. I cannot express that enough. You guys hear me all the time. Buy a bullet journal, buy a notebook, get some scratch pieces of paper, and write down a routine, write down your to-do lists. If you don't write them down, you are not holding yourself, number one, you're not holding yourself accountable, but number two, you're kind of just floundering throughout your day from project to project, from task to task, without any real structure. And when you flit around like that, when you just kind of like, oh, I'm going to do pictures, oh, there's dishes in the sink, I'm going to do those, and you just kind of flit around from task to task and you don't have any real direction or purpose, it's very easy to start wasting time on things, to get distracted, to move from one thing to the next before finishing something. But when you have a routine in place and you have things written down and you are going to work your way down a list every single day to do the tasks that you need to do for your job, for your household, for your family, you will get everything in a day that you need to get done. You will be amazed at the amount of time you're wasting when you actually start following a routine. You'll also be amazed at how many things you can get done in a day, how many things you can accomplish. And you're going to say, well, I still have the same amount of hours in a day I had before I had a routine, but how come I'm getting 5 times the amount of things done? Because you're focused. You're going down that list one thing at a time, and you do each thing until you finish it. Then you go to the next, and you stay focused. You'll just get more done. Whereas if you're not focused and you don't have a list, oftentimes you get distracted and you'll move around between many different tasks without finishing anything. It is important to take breaks too. So keep that in mind. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a really good routine and write it down. And remember, it does take about 30 days to create a new habit. So you're going to have to force yourself for at least 30 days. There is another theory that it takes like 60 days to create a habit. I've always heard 30. But you're going to have to force yourself for at least 30 days to get out of bed and follow your list and go through your routine before it becomes natural, before it becomes autopilot, before it becomes routine. So you'll have to, that's why you have to write it down so you can reference it and look at it every single day. Make sure you're doing all of these things in the order you need to do them until it becomes natural. And eventually, after 30 days or 60 days or 90 days even, you may not even really need your list to go through the daily tasks. You'll still need to write down appointments and things that are going to be different. But as far as listing and photographing and all the things you're going to be doing on a daily basis, that'll just become natural to you. So keep that in mind. I want you guys to force yourself to do this until it's natural, and I want you to write this down and keep track somewhere of, if you know right now that you only list 5 things a day and you feel like time gets away from you and you never get your house clean, remember that. And then 30 days from now, when your house is clean and you're listing 20 items a day and you see the difference, you'll be amazed. But just keep track of it. In your bullet journal, in your notebook, whatever, wherever you write this list, wherever you keep your daily planner, you can keep track of how much more you're getting accomplished. Write yourself little notes like, I never knew I could do all this in one day. Just so that you can keep track of your progress and how you're doing, and you can look back at the difference between having no direction and being totally organized and productive. So the first thing you need to do on a piece of paper, in your journal, in your notebook, on a scratch paper, the first thing you need to do is write down everything that you have to do on a daily basis. This is going to be different for everybody. Someone who has young children, like toddlers and babies, their have-tos are going to look much different than people with school-age children or teenagers and activities. And that's going to look completely different from people who are retired and their kids are older and out of the house. If you have pets, it's going to change things for people that differently from people that don't have pets. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's life is different. Some people still work outside of the home, and so going to work is something you have to do every day. Some of us do this full time. So just write a basic list of everything that you have to do every single day. The easiest way to do that, I have found, is to start with when you wake up in the morning and think about all the things that you have to do through the day in order. So you have to get a shower and get ready. If you are working on fitness goals or weight loss journeys, then you have to go to the gym. If you have kids, you have to get them to the bus or you have to drive them to school. But I find that it's easiest to make these lists if you start in your head from the time you wake up till the time you go to bed, and just kind of go through your own daily routine in your head that you're already doing and write down the things that you have to do. And then on a second piece of paper, write down all the things you want to do in a day. Some goals, some things that you never get around to, some things that you would like to do. If you're not listing enough and you want to start listing 10 a day, if you want to start cross-posting, if you want to add different streams of income, if you want to start walking, reading, whatever it is, make a second list of all the things that you want to accomplish in a day. Then the third list you're going to make, you're just going to write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday down a sheet of paper. You could just write MT, WTH, you know what I mean? You don't have to be neat about this. These are just like your basic brainstorming lists. So your third list, you just want to have Monday through Sunday written down. And on each day, you're going to write down any have-tos that are specific to that day only. So what you have to do every single day on a daily basis is absolutely different than what you have to do on specific days of the week. If you have children that need to go to the bus every day, then every day you're taking them to the bus. But if they're in karate and they only go to class on Wednesday, then that's your have-to on Wednesday to get them to that karate class. If you're in a book club that only meets on Mondays, that's not going to be on your daily have-tos. Does this make sense? So next to the days of the week, specific to those days, if you have anything that you have to do on those days specifically, write them down. And if there are things that are scheduled and have times at 7 p.m., 2 p.m., or whatever, write the time down as well. Then you're going to go to a fourth piece of paper and you're going to create your daily routine for each day. So if your morning always looks the same, you can write morning routine and write down everything you have to do and add in the want tos where you figure there's time. And this is where you really brainstorm and think. If you look at your have tos and your want tos and you see that you're wasting 10 minutes here or 5 minutes there and you can fit one of your want tos, you can do that. So if your morning routine looks the same every morning, you can have one morning routine and you could have one afternoon and one evening if they all pretty much look the same. Then you want to have a daily. So if your days look different every single day, or if you have like the same morning every day but then different afternoons, this is where the specific days come in. So depending on what your days look like, if your mornings are always the same, you can have a morning routine, an afternoon routine, and an evening routine and be done with it. But if you have different things going on every day of the week because you have kids, you have appointments, you work outside of the house, whatever your specific situation is, you're going to want to write your routines by day. So you would write Monday, morning routine, afternoon routine, evening routine. And you would add in all those things that you have to do every day, double check on that third list of all your have-tos on Monday, and fit them in. And then add your want-tos in, and then just make sure you're following it. From the time that you get up until you go to bed, You want to have a basic schedule. I'm not saying it has to be rigid. It does not have to be absolutely 100% rigid that you're consistently doing something, or everything has to be at a specific time. When you lock yourself in with too much rigid, strict rules, you're going to want to rebel. Build in time for breaks. Build in time for your family and your friends, your me time. You know, if you put down that you're going to do photographs and then you're going to list, add 15 minutes in for a Facebook break. Set a timer though. Don't just go on Facebook willy-nilly and get lost in the timeline down that rabbit hole. Set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes. That's your break. When it goes off, you're done with Facebook. Set, you know, a timer if you want to watch YouTube or read books or whatever. Build the breaks in. And again, it does not have to be at 8 a.m. I wake up, at 9 a.m. I do this. You can have a more flexible schedule so that you're not rebelling, or sometimes people feel failure if they can't hit that exact time every day. And I don't want anyone to feel like they have to hit a time and then they failed. My specific schedules, and I will be back tomorrow with another video to go over my daily routines with you guys. I don't have specific times. I just have, this is what I have to do, and this is the order I do it in, and I don't have any times written down. So if I wake up early one day, earlier than normal, then I get more done. That's fine. If I sleep in a little bit, that's fine too, because I don't have to do anything at a specific time. I just have things I have to do each day, and in an order I do them in. And then if you have a day where you somehow get done early, then you have free time. I really recommend to people, when you create your routines and your schedules, the only time you should lock yourself into a time is when you have to. If you work outside of the house and you have to be there at a certain time and clock in, then clearly that needs to have a time on it. If you're taking kids to activities, if you have appointments, things like that, of course you have to have a time. But if you're just saying, I'm going to work, put the kids on the bus and then I'm working till lunch, you can kind of just make your goals that you're going to take photos and list and do this and do that. So that's how I did mine. This is how it was recommended to me to do it. You guys, there's plenty of information out there. If you want to Google bullet journals, you can go on YouTube and look up bullet journals. There are people who have very simple bullet journals that just write down their lists and their plans and their activities. And then there's people who color code and highlight and draw and do stickers, and then everything in between. Mine's pretty simple because I don't want to get sucked into all of the fancy stuff that comes along with bullet journaling, because then I feel like I'm spending too much time on that and not enough on the business. But it's up to you what you want to do. You can Google it. There's plenty of information out there on bullet journals. And like I said, everything from a simple list in a spiral notebook all the way to these really beautiful things people create. Some people paint them too. And then I always recommend to people to also look up Fly Lady. She has created a system that allows you to create new habits as far as keeping your house clean and for your own personal care, your self-care. And she promotes routines and schedules, and she promotes doing a little bit of cleaning each day so that you're never stuck cleaning your entire house from top to bottom in one day. You never have to spring clean. It's a pretty good system. And actually all of my routines and my bullet journal is a combination of what I've learned as far as organizing and creating routines and bullet journals. I've taken that and kind of meshed it with the Fly Lady system, and she has what she calls a control journal, and I've meshed the two together and made my own thing. But the easiest way to do it is to just sit down and make these lists I talked about, so you can put down every single thing in a concise and cohesive manner that you can look at when you go to create your daily schedules. And again, start in your head. Think, when I wake up, this is what I do, and this is what I have to do, this is what I want to do, and then my daily schedules of things I have to do, and then you can create your routines off of that. So I will be back tomorrow. It is Christmas tomorrow, so if you don't get around to watching tomorrow's video until Thursday or Friday, that's fine. I don't suspect a lot of people will be home watching YouTube tomorrow. Most of you will be with your families and your friends enjoying the holidays. So I'll put it up, and you guys watch it whenever you have time. But I have gotten a lot of requests for it. So I think once you watch both of these videos, you're going to kind of understand a little bit better how to do what I'm talking about. So happy Christmas Eve, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have any more questions about how to set this up, let me know in the comments or in our Facebook group. You can join that with the description. There's a link in the description box. Hit the thumbs up before you leave. Helps the channel a lot. And subscribe. Help us feed a hungry hippo. Email us at flippinhipposhelp@gmail.com. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at flippinhippos. I usually tell you guys to go be productive and go make some money, but it's Christmas Eve, so go enjoy the holidays, guys. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Bye.